I really don't like making these type of opinion videos, but I figured, hey, let's just go ahead and do a 6 months update on where I stand with AI and how it's kind of progressing today since it was at the end of last year. So quick little rewind. 6 months ago, I worked on my course. I tried to teach everything I knew about agentic coding, cursor Claude code, my workflows, how to use skills, how to kick off sub agents to help keep the context window smaller, MCP. And since that time, in AI years, like 6 months is nothing, right? 6 months is like a blip in the radar of how fast these models are improving, how intelligent they're getting. You know, some of them are getting cheaper and faster, and they're still as capable or even more capable than the previous models. And so as you're kind of sitting down every day working and you're seeing the trajectory of where these models are going, you can't help but think that maybe at some point your whole career is going to become obsolete. At this point, I don't write code anymore. I literally prompt the agents to write the code and to iterate on the code, to refactor the code, to audit the code. And I'm not kidding when I say that. I do that on my side projects, and I also do it on my full-time job, right? Where if I break prod, I'm probably going to get fired. These agents have reached a point where they're so intelligent that they can find a lot of issues. And if you just trust them to find the issues, you'll see that they can output some pretty good stuff, especially if you're on the frontier models like GPT 5.6 Soul, or if you're on like Fable 5. They are definitely going to find issues with your code so that you can go and triage and fix them. Gave you some more insight as to where I was 6 months ago. I made the course, but then I also worked on something called Automaker with my Discord community. It was me and 3 other developers basically using a Claude Code subscription nonstop for like a month, building out a tool that allowed us to let these harnesses run nonstop while you sleep to build out an actual application. And this was the first time where I actually felt legit depressed. I don't know if depressed is the right word, but it's almost like that stages of grief where you just finally, you're letting go. You're about to reach that acceptance stage. And you're like, you know, my career is just no longer what it used to be. And that's fine, right? The faster you can embrace it, the better you're going to be at agentic coding. The better you're going to be at positioning yourself to being more productive, more efficient, and being able to manage many different projects at the same time, okay? So Automaker is the first time where I saw that. I let it run all night, and then I actually made like a YouTube video talking about what I built. If I go back to this one, December 8th, I let Claude Code build an app for 24 hours. And honestly, when I came back in the morning and like checked out the app and all the different features it added in, and I didn't have to like look at the code at all. I just loaded it up. I tested it. I played around with it. It was storing stuff in an S3 bucket. It was using a real database. It basically created the GitHub actions to get it all deployed out there. I started realizing that, okay, like my job is no longer about writing code. And at some point, probably even reading the code is going to go away as well. There's been a whole debate on Twitter about that, like reading the code. Is that going to be important? Honestly, if they can get the models cheaper and faster, reading the code is also probably going to go away. Granted, there are still projects, like for example, at work, I read the code. I read every single line of code because at the end of the day, if you break production, you're going to lose trust in your dev team. No one's going to want to work with you. And then also you have a chance of just getting let go or fired because you are negligent in how you're shipping code to production. But I will say that even on real life work projects that have users and are in production and they're kind of serious systems, I have stopped writing code completely. I don't write code anymore. The agents write all the code. If I read through the code and I see there's an issue, I ask the agent to refactor it or to improve it. And then when I'm talking to other people to try to collect insight and business requirements of a story, I throw that into the agent as well. It goes through and it tries to give me a plan of like, okay, let's do this and that. And you've probably seen it yourself. When you try to build out something, it's going to, ask you some questions. Do you want to do it A, B, C, or D? And then it puts recommended next to A. Most of the times you click recommended because these agents are also good at not only reading the code and writing the code, they're good at designing the systems. And I've seen that on my day job as well because, people think I'm just a web developer, which they always try to like negate my experience by saying that. But web development encompasses a lot of stuff. It's front end, back end, it's DevOps, cloud, platform engineering. And for those of you who don't know, a lot of the stuff that I did in my almost 14 years of career was a lot of DevOps stuff, setting up GitHub Actions, configuring Jenkins, trying to get the stuff deployed out with Puppet, transitioning to infrastructure as code using Terraform. Now there's something called Pulumi. So there's a lot of tooling out there that I have spent years of my career configuring with, tinkering with, trying to get stuff deployed out to AWS with multiple environments, which even now, like these agents can write all the Terraform code. This agent system swarm application I've been kind of working on, all of this code, 100% of the code is written by AI. And that includes the Terraform code to get it all deployed out to AWS. I literally give it AWS keys and I say, hey, write the Terraform code. Don't finish until it's all deployed out there. And it just does it. Okay. Mission control. This is another application that I've been building out with just agentic coding. I literally, at nighttime, I'll throw a couple prompts to Claude Code. I'll put my laptop to the side. I come back and I have 3 or 4 new features. And I've been doing that over the past month. Every night I kick off some new tasks to do some refactoring, some security audits, add a feature here or there. And it's crazy how well these harnesses and models can just add it in. Okay. Now there's always some type of cope. Every time you see these models are more capable, like at first when it started doing tab completion and writing that unit test for you, you're like, oh, well, the unit test kind of sucks. And then the next month, the model got better. The harnesses got better. And it writes an entire unit test file, not just one little unit test. It writes the entire suite. And you're like, oh, well, the suite's testing too much. And then the next month comes out and it's writing your entire end-to-end test. And it's running it for you. And you're watching it literally run and iterate until it fully gets it done. And you're like, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. Some other cope comes up. And this is what's happening every single step of the way. The models get better. You're hoping, you're holding on to that thread of hope of, okay, it can't do everything. It can't do everything on my career or my job, can it? And then you realize, okay, it just wrote all the Terraform code in basically one prompt and got it all deployed out there. You ask it to spin up 3 different, dev environment, a staging environment, and a prod environment in 3 separate AWS accounts. Here's the .env file to set that all up. Create the GitHub actions to actually have this set up in CI/CD so it can deploy it all out there. Hook it into Sentry or hook it into CloudWatch so I can get the logs whenever an error happens. Go ahead and debug the system using those error logs. I'm telling you, like, I have done basically everything with these agents. And it's at the point now where it's like, I don't think there's anything at my job that these agents can't do. You could find another thing to cope about, but in 3 months, there's going to be the next state-of-the-art model, the frontier model, where the thing that you used to have some control over, it's now been automated away as well. So since that period of 6 months, I've worked on Mission Control, which is a complete rich application of kicking off these harnesses. We got workspaces built in. We got a built-in, Git diff. We have pets. We got a bunch of stuff, right? And then also, Agent System Swarm is another application I've been building out where I just create a bunch of GitHub issues, and then I kick off the Agent System Swarm to implement it. And then it goes and kicks off a Lambda micro VM. It implements the story, creates a pull request. So where I'm seeing this industry going now is, again, more autonomous coding, more looping, as they call it, where you no longer actually have to make the GitHub issues because all these were created by AI. I told Claude Code inside of Mission Control, and I said, hey, I need you to run nonstop and find as many security issues as possible and create GitHub issues for it. And then I have another Claude Code instance that's running, and I say, hey, I need you to go and grab any issue that hasn't been worked on, leave a comment that you're going to work on it in a work tree, make a pull request when you're done. And then it goes and it makes the pull request. And then I kick off another agent and say, hey, I need you to go and look at all the open pull requests, pick one, review it, make sure that it's secure, make sure that it's written properly, check it for correctness, check it for code consistency, update the pull request until the code is how I want it, and then merge it. Okay? 333 closed pull requests over the past couple of weeks, all done by AI. I don't even have to go and I don't even do this. This is AI's doing all this for me. And again, this is a side project, right? This is a side project. This is not a production system. I would not do this on a production system because, again, at the end of the day, if I break prod, my teammates won't like me. If the code I'm putting in pull requests look bad, they have to go through and they have to review it. And then also, if I break prod enough, I'm probably going to get fired. Let's be honest. Okay. So that's the thing that's kind of keeping our careers, like it's keeping our, security. But I think it's only going to be a couple of years, maybe 3-5 years until everyone starts to realize that these models are highly capable. And why would I pay an engineer $60 an hour, $70 an hour when I could just have Claude Code run in a loop and just do everything that I want, right? As a product owner or a business owner, I can just create a GitHub issue, have an entire swarm or a fleet of agents, plan it, implement it, verify it, get it deployed out there, hook it into some type of logging system to check for errors and fix the errors when they happen, automatically load up end-to-end playwright tests and test the UI. And this translates to everything else. I mean, like marketing, even on your homepage, all the images, you can have AI generate the images for you. Connecting to X to automatically promote your stuff. You can have agents do that for you as well. And again, I'm not even trying to sell you anything. I don't care if you don't buy my course. My course is outdated. I'll be honest with you. All the tools that I have GitHub repos for, they're free to use. Like Mission Control, this is free to use. Even Mission Control is not safe, right? Because I'm making a video about this right now, someone could literally go take a screenshot of this and plan out a giant plan of phased developments, a different checklist of what needs to be done, and let Fable 5 run nonstop on it. Yeah, it's going to cost them a couple $1,000s in tokens, but they will pretty much have exactly what they need, at least an MVP that has all the features, and they can come back and try to make it look a little bit nicer in the UI, right? I guess where I'm seeing this industry go is, again, more autonomous coding tooling that we're going to start leveraging more in our day job. We're going to start hooking them into our existing systems. As the moment the senior engineers start trusting these tools more, and also as the models get cheaper and faster, which it seems like they keep getting a little bit cheaper and faster. Because like if you look at today, like, you know, Composer 2.5 is not the best model, but I mean, it's extremely cheap. You can do a lot of cool stuff with it. Grok 4.5 is not the best model, but it's very cheap and it's pretty fast. And you can build out a lot of great stuff with it. You don't have to use Fable 5 for everything, although it is the frontier model and is the best from what I've tested. You know, you can get a lot of the tasks done. And I think we're going to have better orchestrators that can figure out what model to kick off based on the requirements. So a simple little task, maybe it's going to kick into GPT 5.6 Luna. Maybe for a more complex task, it'll kick into Soul. Or maybe it'll just decide to use Fable 5. Who knows, right? We're going to have these orchestrators that know exactly which models to use, what models are good at UI, what models are good at API, what models are good at security audits, what models are good at checking for performance tuning. I've talked to people who built out an entire native Rust applications just by prompting Fable 5. They have no idea how to write Rust. I've been building out an iPhone app. I have no idea how to write Swift code, but it's writing it, it's building it. I get the features, I click it, I've got it deployed out into the prototype app store. It's pulling in tools I never even heard about, Fastlane or something like that, building out the tool. And, you know, at this point, it's just a matter of like embracing the tools and hooking them up to as much stuff as you can securely and not being overly ambitious and letting the tools do everything. And you're going to start seeing like how capable they actually are. Now, honestly, I'll probably get some type of angry comments about this. I always get angry comments whenever I do AI videos. There's developers who are coping so hard trying to, you know, find a sliver of hope. There's content creators out there who are very anti-AI, but from my perspective, I try to give you like my realistic view on this stuff. I'm not trying to hype this up because a sponsor is paying me money. I'm not hyping this up because I'm trying to sell a course. Like I mentioned, the course is outdated. Do not buy the course. I want to go through and like update it. I just don't have the time to, honestly. I've been having a lot more fun just like building out tools, experimenting with these things. And then as I'm getting older, like after work, I just don't want to like record more videos and like do more work, honestly. So I'll leave that to the younger people. The younger people are going to be able to find the really great harnesses and build the great workflows and build out this agentic swarm system so you can basically build out entire applications. They're going to make the big bucks from all this. Now, one question I know a lot of people ask me is like, okay, so what do we do to like secure our career? Let's say we wanted to get into, you know, being a developer, a web developer, or a software engineer. What do you do? There's still a bunch of stuff that AI can't touch, right? If you're on a secure project, a lot of projects do not allow AI to touch them because you don't want this code and the data accidentally leaking into the model. You don't want PII getting into the model, but then later you get sued or you get fired because you leaked a bunch of like social security numbers, right? These are legit concerns that are going to take years, if maybe they will never even go away, because a lot of these models in these companies we can't trust. We give them complete access to our code base. They go off and they train their models on the code that we're giving. We accidentally give it a .env file. And now we have all these secret keys that were given to the model. The things that you need to focus on right now, I probably would say are like security. How do you make sure that what you're writing is secure? Higher level architecture. How do you know what you're building is actually like a good architecture? And again, like even that's scope. Like I mentioned, these tools, they can architect it for you. They can pick the best architecture based on your business requirements. I think diving more into like understanding the high level goals of the business, the high level goal of the product, getting more into the business side of things, I think is also a very good thing to get into. Project management, although these agents can basically do it all for you, I think having direction, I guess it's called like a product engineer, understanding what you want to build out and what's good taste versus what's bad taste. At the end of the day, I don't know these models can actually like build good user interfaces, but again, that's just cope again. In a month or two, they're going to be, you know, hooking a UX UI skill, and it's going to be building out better user interfaces than you could ever imagine. So I don't know. It's just every step of the way, like you try to find this cope where it's like, oh, the model can't do this yet, or oh, it's not that great. And then you wake up the next morning, there's a new model, and you're like, okay, well, it can do it better now. It can literally do it better. You can connect it to everything, assuming that you want to give it access to your phone or something. It can probably do it. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the point of this talk was, but all I know is that at this point, I know this has been kind of a depressing talk. I just wanted to kind of keep it real with you all, but I'm actually doing pretty good. I actually enjoy using these tools. I'm having a lot of fun just shipping a ton of features in mission control. I'm having a lot of fun just having these swarms build an application nonstop while I sleep, just have cron jobs running, building, creating GitHub issues, creating pull requests, going and reviewing the code, doing security audits. It's been fun. It's a complete night and day shift of how it actually works in the industry from at least the projects I've been on. You know, with these side projects, you can just ship nonstop. You can have these agents build fully autonomously because you don't have users. You're not in production. But on real life projects, you have a team of other engineers you work with. You make a pull request, that thing sits out there for 3 or 4 days. I've had pull requests sit out there for months. Even in the era of AI coding, I have had pull requests sit out there for months because we have processes in place that require people to review every single line of code and make sure that the application's good and secure. And those are good things to care about. And I guess the reason I'm ending this video with that note is that although we're seeing how capable and powerful these models are, I do think we're always going to hit bottlenecks in terms of business and red tape and process. That's going to take a long time, years to remove, and then also years to even embrace and trust these models on a lot of projects. So I guess there is a silver lining in all this, is that find a system you can work on that's already in production. Maybe it's in a maintainability era of its life cycle, because, you know, the more code that there is, the less capable these models are. Typically, there's a lot more process in place because they don't want to break production. Yeah, I don't know. I guess let me know if you even enjoyed this video. I feel like I'm just like rambling at this point, but yeah, I guess leave a comment. Have a good day and happy prompting.